big plumbing costs can be avoided if you do the right maintenance check. So Sav-On Plumbing is here to give us some help on how to prevent the plumbing problems. And Nancy, how are you this morning?
I'm great. How are you?
This is good. Well, I'm so happy to be sitting with you because I don't want to get in trouble, but usually when we have our plumbers here, they're men-owned.
Oh.
But this is a woman-owned company, which is awesome.
Well, I always say I married into a plumbing dynasty. I was my husband's risk manager and helped him with his insurance. And then what happened is, early he was my plumber. And then I took over his risk management and ended up, he told me early in a non-creepy way, I'm going to marry you. And I said, I'm not marriage material. And here we are, 7 years later, married.
That is great.
Right.
And you're running the company here, Sav-On Plumbing. And so with you knowing how important it is to make sure maintenance is taken care of before you face those big problems. And as we see a lot of women who are owning their homes, you know, kind of like forget about that because that guy might not be around to tell them about plumbing or anything like that. And that's where you come in.
Well, and it's important too, whether you're male or female, to know who's coming into your home. So all of our plumbers are background tested and drug tested, so we know exactly who we're hiring. Most of our plumbers have been with us a long time, 5 years to 18 years. So we know them, we trust them. And that's critical in today's world.
Yeah, it is, especially as we have been home, and so there's been more plumbing problems than anybody ever could think of, from stuff being flushed down the toilet that doesn't need to be, sinks backing up, which is kind of funny. You said your husband has a blog, actually, of things he's found.
In toilets, from dog bones to, a lot of times kids love to flush things, so we do get a lot of calls on those kind of routine maintenance things. The most important thing in today's world, with insurance companies keeping a really keen eye on losses, the average insurance claim for a water damage claim, a sewer backup, or generally speaking, it's a water heater or a supply line that ruptures, is $11,000. So that's a lot of money. Then you're deductible out of pocket. But the insurance company then the next year at renewal looks at you really closely. So a lot of times they'll let one water damage claim go, but the second one you're going to get non-renewed.
Yeah.
So it's important. And we are approved by many of the insurance companies here in the Arizona area.
Yeah, I think the big problem that I see with the friends who have plumbing, I do it too, is that we get that little drip and we go, you know, I'll just put a bucket there and I'll wait for it to get, you know, bad. I don't want to call the plumber. It's going to cost me a lot of money.
Right.
But that little drip can actually cost you even more money than calling the plumber right now to come look at it.
Well, right, because most of the lines are under pressure, and so a little drip can erupt, especially supply lines. If you have plastic on the ends of your supply lines or your water heater, you'd be surprised how much water will emerge within just a few minutes. And of course, then you'll have cabinet damage and other issues.
Yeah, and it's nice that, you know, we can see some things we can fix ourselves, but calling a plumber in, and especially someone like your team, they know what's going on, because that little drip might not be where the problem is. It might be further along that we don't see because we're not knowing the pipes, and that's where you can look and go, you know what? It's actually way back here, which I found, and all because you corked this little area did not fix the problem that's back here.
Right. What we like to do is come in and do a whole home plumbing inspection, where we actually go through your home and look at every pressure point, all of your plumbing fixtures. And this way, a lot of times plumbing can be expensive, so you can triage repairs. We can suggest this supply line should be replaced today, but let's triage these others on down the road.
Yeah, and this is a perfect time to get the maintenance because the kids are now not at home. So now someone can come through without, you know, disturbing your place and check those plumbings before the kids start to get back for vacations and stuff like that.
Exactly. The other thing that's important is, if you're buying a home inspectors are generalists. We're specialists, and we can do a pre-buy inspection, which will give you some leverage with the buyer. So when we actually sold a home in Central Phoenix a few years ago before we moved, we ended up having to replace the sewer line as part of the inspection process. We knew it was still working, but this can really help you negotiate with the buyer.
Yeah, that's awesome. Nancy, how can we find out more about Sav-On Plumbing?
Well, our website is sav-onplumbing.com, or give us a call at 602-488-4647.
Perfect. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you.